everybody, and welcome to the Cincinnati Soccer Talk watch-along party for FC Cincinnati versus DC United. We're back, baby. MLS is back. FC Cincinnati's back. Guys are on the field. We're getting ready to go. It's time to party, everybody. Get your big boy beverage, and we're going to have one heck of an evening, or at least we hope so. Don't want to end up like that night versus Columbus. I am, of course, your host, Brian Weigel. In the back in the host chair for this show tonight, we're going to have a cast of characters that's going to be a little bit of a revolving door tonight. I think we're going to see maybe a little Brad Weigel. Hopefully, we'll see. We're going to see Coach Brad Goff join us a little bit, but I'm joined by my two main men this evening. We got the editor-in-chief of Cincinnati Soccer Talk, Rob Pierce. Rob, how you doing, bud? Are you excited for the game?
I am. This is strange times, of course. An empty Nippert, and we're being socially distant and watching from afar. But I mean, hey, we're here, and we're gonna watch FC Cincinnati play at Nippert. What could be better? That we are here. We are here drinking our favorite beverage, adult beverage. I don't know if Tall Paul Barvanchik's. Are you old enough to drink Tall Paul? I'm joking.
Am I old enough to drink? Come on.
Well, you're in Louisville, so you can't drink the water. But what
drink the water?
How are we doing? Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited. What we saw in the MLS Packers tournament has given me naive optimism. So I'm ready for it to either be pushed a little bit further or just have my hopes crushed. So we'll see.
Hopes can be crushed. That is for sure. But it should be a pretty exciting evening. We're back. That's half the battle, guys. We're enjoying one of our favorite loves in FC Cincinnati. We're here as a group, socially distant, of course, but we're all here to have fun. Speaking of having fun, if you guys want to interact with us tonight, please feel free to put all your chat or put your notes in the chat, and we'll take selections like right now. Eric Turner, y'all need upgraded jerseys, half off at the store. Well, first off, got to go logo. Second off, I do have the same jerseys, the inaugural home kits that Paul and Rob are doing. You guys have any other jerseys?
No, this is the only FC Cincinnati jersey I have. It's the only jersey, period. But those white kits this year, those are sharp. I wouldn't mind getting my hands on one of those.
Paul?
So this one's actually it has a blank nameplate because I ordered it from Fanatics and it took about 6 months to ship. But I have another one like this that has actually my Tall Paul on the back and then 28 is the number. Yeah. So, but that one is in the wash and it needs to be cleaned. But no, I don't have any updated ones because I'm still waiting to get that big boy paycheck.
Well, we'll figure it out. From our one of our favorite photo men, Joe Schmuck, drink up, boys, and enjoy. And of course, Tom Biersdorf, great friend of the show. Braxton brings garage beer here. I'm drinking a Leinenkugel Harvest Patch Shandy. It's okay, not very great. Coach, I think, would have an issue with that. But hey, we are what we are right now. I just, the packaging looked cool, and I picked it off the shelf today. So we're excited to watch you on Star 64 this evening, or I guess in Paul's case on ESPN Plus. But should be an exciting evening. It looks like Big Bang Theory is wrapping up here, and they'll be going live in a couple of minutes. So guys, let's dive down into the match real quick. FC Cincinnati does have a couple changes in their starting 11. We'll work from the back. We got Teton in goal. Looks like we have Gutman on the left, Pedersen, Waston, Deplan, and then Zhao on the right. And then from what we're hearing in the midfield is going to be Amaya and Stanko behind a Yuya Kubo with Sam de Jong and Jurgen Locadia on top. What do you guys make of that? Let's start out with Paul. What do you make of that 11?
I mean, that's pretty strong 11. I mean, you can make a couple of changes if you wanted to. You could have Regaton maybe instead of Zhao there on the wing. Maybe make some changes in the midfield. I'm a big Cruz fan, and the fact that he's led us in goals I'm surprised that he's not getting more playing time. But obviously, I'm not Jaap Stam there, so I don't know what's exactly going on. But overall, I don't think you can really complain about the lineup that they're pushing out tonight. I think it's about as strong of a lineup as you could get.
Marshall Piersley says, any predictions on the formation? Rob, I don't know what you think, but I got to think that this is the some version of that 5-3-2, especially with how the personnel are in this match.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that.
You might be able to see it evolve into like that 4-3-3, but we'll see.
Yeah. What's missing from this lineup is Harris Medunjanin, and the reason for that, if you guys haven't heard, is that his wife finally had their baby, and I kind of forgot that she was pregnant, but they're otherwise occupied right now, understandably so. For me, I think it's going to be interesting to see how Siem de Jong does, probably as a number 10, it looks like.
Well, we'll see. There's been talk that he is actually up next to Locadia, how he kind of played in the last match in Orlando with Kubo in the midfield. But I think it's possible to see those guys roam around, and I'm sure they'll figure it out. A couple news before we get into the match here. I think something nice to touch on. It looks like, of course, FC Cincinnati announced Kamo Helo Mokocho this week, the defensive midfielder from South Africa, coming out of Brentford in the English Championship. He's going to be joining the squad in a couple weeks. Paul, what did you make of that move?
I mean, so as our own Coach Goff made in his Talking Tactics podcast and for the articles, that was his number one need. And I think based off of the personnel that we have, having someone like that will really help open up the attack, open up the offense. And for the fact, originally thought it might not be a TAM signing, but even as a TAM signing, I still say that's a strong signing by FC Cincinnati. I'm really happy that they went out and shored up that position.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. That was probably our biggest need. And he's a for real player. Rob, what'd you make of that move?
Yeah, exactly. Echo what you guys were saying. I mean, it's great to finally have like a true six, and it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the midfield kind of shapes up.
We are minutes away from FC Cincinnati versus DC United. Breaking news right around the late this afternoon, right about 6:00 p.m. We have a pending transaction, it seems, for FC Cincinnati. Report out of Argentina from Sabado Velez is that left winger, 20-year-old Alvaro Barrial, will be joining FC Cincinnati. Looks to be a pretty high-priced transfer for the 20-year-old. $1.7 million from FC Cincinnati going to Velez for 75% of his rights. What, of course, that means is should FC Cincinnati move him on, sell him on in the future, that 75% of his rights go to MLS and FC Cincinnati, and the remaining 25 go back to Velez. Of course, FC Cincinnati moved out left winger Kukuda Mane and defensive midfielder Fatai Alashe this week, freeing up a couple spots on the senior roster. And it looks like FC Cincinnati will still need to open up a international position. But Rob, you jacked up about this move?
To be honest, I really haven't studied it yet. I'm going to need to do my homework on that one.
Well, it is breaking news. I think one of these things that you got to take away from this transaction is that you go out and you get a guy who's most likely going to be a designated player, and it makes sense to do that because his cap hit will only be about, I think, $150,000 this year, and perhaps moves up to, I think, $250,000 until he's the age of 23. So it's a very low budget hit for FC Cincinnati. High level player. You can spread that transfer fee out, add in his salary, and I'm sure he'll be able to get into that designated player threshold for FC Cincinnati. So, what's your thoughts on it, Tall Paul?
So, in terms of roster construction, I would have to say that this is very smart by Nine Champs standards here, because if I remember right, Mane was making a pretty sizable amount of money.
Manu was about $250,000, I think, last year.
And we were saying the cap hit would only be about 150,000 for a player that's probably going to be better than Kikuta Mane. So not only are you getting a player of probably better caliber, you're also saving money on the back end, which you can use to help build towards other parts of your roster. So I think, again, it's a good roster move. Obviously, I haven't had a lot of time to look up on it yet either, but if you're paying $1.7 million for a 20-year-old, you definitely think something's there. So,
and to give you a little bit of perspective, Miguel Almiron was $880,000 coming out of Paraguay, I believe, to Argentina when he was 20 or 21, and then when he was purchased by Atlanta, he was purchased for $8 million. So I guess if you look at it, it's definitely I would say low cost. I don't know if that's the right word, but there's definitely a high ceiling for this player. And when you bring in a guy like this on a team that was struggling like last year, I think you'd be throwing him to the Sharks. Whereas now he's got Regatten ahead of him. You don't know where Joe Zhao's going to shake out. Is Joe Zhao going to be the right back of the future, a la DeMarcus Beasley, or is he going to be competing for those winger spots as well? So a lot to look out for FC Cincinnati. I do think that these two moves point to a kind of an identity that Jaap Stam's going to want to work towards, moving back to that 4-3-3 kind of total football. You heard him echo it all this week, that all the players need to know the responsibilities of the guys around them. So should things happen, they can fall into those roles. So pretty exciting about it going forward with these moves. Looks like stream is not going on yet for FC Cincinnati is what I'm hearing. But if you are watching Star 64, there's a great shot of a Skyline commercial, and it only makes me hungry right now. Rob, what's your go-to order?
I typically do 3 conies, possibly a 4th if I'm like really hungry.
Top Paul?
So it's 2 cheese conies, no onion, no mustard, order of chili cheese fries, extra pack of crackers with a Diet Mountain Dew.
Very nice. That's a strong
And
order.
if you're getting it to go, excuse me, if you're getting it to go, cheese on the side, best way to do it.
Yes, it is. Strong order. I've gone into this mode where I'll do 2 Chilitos, but as opposed to getting chili, I'll get the bean mix inside and the sour cream and the cheese on the inside. Wonderful. 2 of those plus at least 1, maybe 2 cheese conies. So been a good go-to order. Guys, if you are going to be with us all night, please feel free to put your comments and questions in the chat. Coach Brad Goff will be joining us hopefully in the next 20 minutes or so. He'll be in here to help break down the match with Coach Goff, joining the crew of me, Rob, and Paul Barvanchik. So we're excited to have you guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot those along to us. We are very, very excited for this, optimistic for this match, I guess you could say. Let's give our predictions, guys. I'll let Rob, editor-in-chief of Cincinnati Soccer Talk, give us his thoughts on the result of the match.
I didn't see a whole lot of goals being scored in this match, so my Growler Cup prediction is 1-0 win for FC Cincinnati.
Paul?
So home opener last year, given different circumstances, was 3-0. I don't see any reason to need to change from it.
3-0, huh? Wow.
Mm-hmm. Go big or go home. That's
a heck of a move considering how DC United has wanted to play. This is going to be a lot of guys behind the ball, and you do not have your designated player as Edison Flores on the field for DC United this evening. I am looking at a 2-1 result for FC Cincinnati. I think they are the favorites going into this match. There's so much going on in that roster for DC United. A lot of uncertainty. They're not sure what really is going to go, and so yeah, we'll see what happens. Speaking of the formation, we had a question about this earlier. On the FC Cincinnati graphic on the TV screen, it has De Jong and Locadia up top with Kubo, Stanko, and Amaya in the midfield. So that's something to watch out for, to see if there's any interchange between Kubo and De Jong. We got Head of Lettuce weighing in 3-0. FC Cincinnati win 3-0. We've got James E. O'Loughlin 3-1 with Zhao, Kubo, and Locadia. I do have a question. Huckleberry Gin, has the stream started yet? It's not working for me. I heard 5 minutes ago that it was not going on yet, but
the one on the one on the website is going.
Is it going now? Okay, go check that out there, Huckleberry Gin, fccincinnati.com, or if you're out of market, ESPN Plus. Eric Turner, 532. Yeah, okay. Okay, Adrian Vergara says, today, DC United win goal of Orejas Flores. Looks like we're getting ready to kick off here with the watch long. Please stay with us, guys. All show. You'll hear a bunch of talking heads on here, and then we'll have Coach Brad Goff joining us here in a little bit. We're excited to have you guys around. All this is, guys. We're here to have fun, have a couple drinks together, talk, and really just have an all around good time. Anytime with our main man Rob Pierce is a good time, right, Rob?
Damn straight.
Damn straight. All right, kicked off. We are 8 seconds in, 9, 10 on my watch. I don't know how far behind you guys are right now. 13, 14, 15. Rob, how close are you?
17, 18.
Beautiful. 19. What about you, Paul?
I'm behind on the stream. They haven't kicked off yet.
Oh, steak.
Oh.
Oh, jeez.
I'll let you know when they just kicked off.
All right, Tom Beersdorf, 3-0, Lecadia Brace and Kubo. We got Brad Weigel joining in. He's doing his player ratings and copped out on the show tonight. He was too busy focusing on his player ratings to join us. He says De Jong up top, Kubo at CM. And we got the man, the myth, the legend, Coach Brad Goff.
Look at this.
And his beautiful new white jersey. Love it. Yeah, we're excited here, pal. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm really excited that I got to jump on here and not miss much of the game. Excited to see Locadia starting up top. I was surprised that the team is back in that 5-back setup. I hope it looks a little more like a 3-back setup than what we saw in the MLS's back tournament.
Very good. Apparently, did I sound a little different, guys?
You were a little tinny. You sound good
a little
now.
Better now. All right. Apparently, I was on my different mic here. Thanks for calling me out there, Rob Pierce. Help me out, bud. I'm joking. All right, guys. 1 minute, 33 seconds in. Coach, how far behind are you? And he's gone.
Oh, man.
Also, not going to lie.
He's back.
And he's back.
You were like, I am. I'm like, and he's gone.
I am at 132 right now.
You're about 30 seconds behind. All right. So don't have an antenna on that TV there, Coach? We got to fundraise you for an antenna.
I have an antenna on my upstairs TV. I'm in my basement, in my broadcast studio.
Honestly, if you could see my setup right now, I have an antenna sitting on a kid's plastic table chair right next to the window, so I'm getting accurate signal. Looks like there's a corner kick. Oh, I'm supposed to be tweeting this stuff, Rob. Corner kick coming for DC United. And it's away.
Not going to lie, it took me a minute to realize that we weren't the team in white.
It is weird, isn't it?
I was like, oh, we have a free kick, and I was like, oh no, that's not us.
Yeah.
Man, seeing that blue kit, I don't like it.
Thorough analysis there by Rob Pierce.
That orange is so stark
against
the two shades of blue.
It is.
All right, so Coach, real quick, I want to get your thoughts on this. What do you think of Kubo starting in more of that midfield? Well, I thought he'd be more of a 10, but it looks like Stanko's kind of in the middle there. But what do you think about him in the midfield versus De Jong up top?
I honestly think it's going to play a lot more like that 4-2-2-2. Or not 4, but it's more like a 3-5-2. But Kubo will have a lot of freedom. He'll be in the midfield and be responsible for a bit of wide play. But when they go forward, Zhao is going to push way up the field, and Gutman is going to push way up, and Kubo will have a free roll to come in underneath. And I think that really suits him because he likes to drop in deep and pick up the ball and then run at the defense. We just need to get him in some space, let him dribble.
Very good. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this is going to play out. Looks so far, I mean, through the first 4 minutes, DC United appears to be on the front foot, but they had a what moment just a second ago. You'll see that in 30 seconds, Paul.
I think Coach is on the same timeline as I am too. So
I am. And you can already see, like, when FCC does have possession, Kubo is dropping into all those little gaps, really trying to get on the ball. It'll be interesting to see how much he's able to, if DC United takes their number 6 and sits on him, or lets him kind of start to dictate some play.
Adrian Vergara, what happened to Wayne Rooney? Is he coaching? Where's he coaching at now?
Derby, right?
Derby,
Yep.
Yeah.
Derby City. Yeah, I don't think he really bought into the whole MLS experience like some of the other guys.
Yeah,
Hey, Ben Olsen, put your mask on, pal.
Yeah. I actually saw Rooney play a couple of his FA Cup matches back a couple months ago.
Oh, what do you mean? You actually got to go over there?
No. On ESPN Plus.
Oh. I was like, man, you took a trip to England that I didn't know about?
These corner kicks worry me, just that not necessarily, they haven't been getting scored on off direct free kicks, but that time right after the corner kick, it's interesting to see, you see Andrew Gutman floats to that back post all the time. So that puts him on the right side of the field and Zhao over on the left. And, then they have to decide when to switch back. And there can be a lot of confusion there if it's not handled right.
Well, you got Steve Birnbaum in there for DC, and he's one of the best free kick headers in Major League Soccer. He's super deadly on these corner kicks. So, if they get as many corners as I think what Portland had against us, that's something to worry about. Looks like we need to catch our breath a little bit. I feel like we are definitely on the back foot here. DC United came out with a fury.
And they're pressing.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
It would be really silly to not press this right side of FC Cincinnati's back line with Waston, Duplan. Duplan's capable on the ball, but it's not like he's not great. And Waston is not only on the ball is not his favored place, let's say, but also he's left-footed playing on the right side, which just makes it harder. Just that little extra chance for error there.
Ooh, Yu Yakuba comes in with a studs up challenge and takes out. Is that brilliant? Maybe dangerous free kick again to DC United. It's like I'm all anxious to see how this happens. Tall Paul, Rob, you guys can talk as much as you want.
TT looks like he got a haircut.
Kicks off. Frankie fades. Oh. Yep. Well, there was your free kick specialist right there. So fortunately, a free kick by I think it was by Birnbaum goes high, but it was really, really close.
Have to see this here.
Who is that? By Pines?
That was just a foot above.
Yeah, I'm live tweeting this match, so I don't know. I love how I get to do the hosting and the live tweeting duties like 5 games in a row.
That certainly makes it tough.
So if you hear me like not talking, love you guys.
That must look like wow.
Yeah, he climbed over Pedersen, but the thing about it is you're not going to get that call that often. So even though it was a foul, the referee didn't call it in real time. So the question there is, would VAR overturn it? And who knows there?
That's a good question.
So far, Locadia has not looked real sharp. He's had a couple touches go awry. There was a play earlier when De Jong made a really nice dummy run and let the ball through to De Jong, but De Jong was not anticipating it, and the defenders stepped in and got it. So I have not seen him looking very sharp yet. Hopefully he'll work his way into this match, being as he hasn't had a lot of minutes. Yeah,
and you definitely see that DC United press up the field right now. We got to see how many lines we can break, and having some of our center backs just give the ball up freely like this. Oh, makes me not feel too great right now about our chances early on.
Well, we saw this a lot in MLS's back, right? FC Cincinnati would go through long spells where they'd be under pressure and not able to maintain possession of the ball. Yet they were always able to hold firm without cracking. It's the whole bend but don't break. I'm of the mentality that the longer you're under that pressure, the more likely you are to break. So you need to get out of it. But let's hope that they've had this experience now. They've played 3 or 4 games. It's not like they're all of a sudden in a match where they're trying to hold on for dear life. This is, par for the course for FC Cincinnati, unfortunately.
Pedro Fernandez, all the way from Brazil. ESPN Brazil doesn't stream this match, so I'm here at least to know what is happening. Well, I hope I don't let you down, pal. We are 9 minutes and 30 seconds into this match, and it's been all DC United. DC United right now is on a breakaway, and we'll see what happens here. And somehow Jojel fell into a tackle and made a hell of a play by falling down. What a something that was. Oh, and then, of course, Locadia gets called offside. All right. We'll try, right?
It just seems like we can't get in any sort of rhythm whatsoever, like offensive, defensive, we're just all over the place.
Yeah. We got Larry Weichel turning in right now. Just turned in. Are you guys commentating on the action on the pitch? My app will not let me watch the match. Well, try to see if you can tune on to fccincinnati.com to watch it. We are basically just commentating on the match. We'll try to give our play-by-play in some instances, but I do believe Coach and Paul might be a couple seconds behind myself and Sir Robert. So we'll do our best we can. But so far, definitely advantage towards DC United over the first 10 and a half minutes.
One thing y'all can do is follow at Cincy Soccer Talk on Twitter, and there will be some live tweets there that will update the kind of what's going on in the match from time to time. And we'll chat about the tactical side of it, what's going on, our impressions, and maybe do a little bit of play-by-play as it goes along, like Brian said.
Yeah, Brad, my brother, the evil twin, Brad Weigel, is now taking over live tweeting, so I can actually watch and talk to your pretty faces. So, another free kick to DC United headed wide, and it's becoming a trend here, guys. Don't like the fouls. Don't like giving these opportunities for a team that's known to be very, very good on free kicks and not very good at creating in the run of play. So we're giving them quality chances early on. I think that's the third or fourth one.
Yeah, right now it's all DC United all the time.
We're just turning the ball. Gutman's had 3 or 4 turnovers, I feel like.
Yeah, playing in front of the home crowd there has got the boys rattled, I think.
Oh, geez, Louise.
Sorry.
And there's a huge tackle by Duplan. Duplan just took out Yamil Assad, and it goes into the book.
This is rough.
In the words of Truth Adair, we are thoroughly being outplayed, guys. Coach?
100%.
Yeah, but again, I'll say it again, it's par for the course. I think this is what they do. The biggest unfortunate thing to me is I thought having Locadia out there would allow them to ping balls up to the top, and Locadia would hold it up for them. I did get word from the pitch that Jaap Stam is basically in Joe Zhao's ear constantly. So coaching him up, making sure he's defensively sound, talking to him about what to do. So hopefully these sorts of situations, even if this game is not going great, will continue to improve as the game goes on. We've seen FC Cincinnati get better and grow into the game a few times now. So that's what I'll be hoping to see.
And let's be honest, while we want to win in 2020, it is about progressing towards 2021 when we can get some of these contracts off the books and remake our squad in an image that it more resembles a competitive pro side. So we'll see. Got a lot to go here. This is a dangerous spot, Coach. What are you telling your guys right now with a free kick like this just outside the box?
I'm expecting a shot. Especially, if a right footer is standing over the ball, it suits a right footer here. So I'm telling my defenders to stick to their marks and stay goal side all the way through the shot. Because so often these sorts of, every once in a while, you see a golazo straight from the free kick here, but oftentimes it's off the goalkeeper or off the post. And then the rebound is what does you in.
Teton is giving a lot of side, near post side, almost. Oh, well, thank God Julian Gressel is taking that shot, not Pipa Higuain. So
I can't believe
sailed hide.
I am shocked that Duplan did not get booked for that tackle.
He got yellow. He got yellow.
Didn't show up in the timeline. He got all ball, but it was reckless, studs up. I mean, those ones, like if he missed any of the ball there, that could have been a straight red easy.
I think he got a yellow card there. I'm 99% sure.
Whew, you're right. That free kick was not good.
Mathieu Duplan shown yellow. Yep. All right, guys, man, I want to be a lot more positive on this show versus the negative, but we'll see what happens. If you are unfamiliar to Cincinnati Soccer Talk, you're turning in for the first time, we do have a live show every Monday night, 9:00 p.m. Eastern. We also have Talking Tactics with I guess, our superstar over here, Coach Brad Goff. He does a great show breaking down the tactical approach and, kind of how the team plays. He gets some great guests to discuss the orange and blue. And then we also have March to Match Day, which is a preview podcast hosted by Brad Weigel and Boston Razzle Dazzle Brazzle. So we have 3 shows. Make sure to download, rate, and review those on all your favorite podcast networks. Tune in live Monday nights, and we try to do as best we can to cover FC Cincinnati for you.
Yeah, we really have that 3-tiered approach where we have the main show taking a big, broad view, look at the team, transfers, like a holistic view with a lot of different characters with input there, including, Michael Lahoud bringing the player's perspective. I like to get into the tactical side of the game and talk about formations. I'll work through this match, what I saw, how I think goals happened, where breakdowns happen. And then obviously March to Match Day brings on a guest from the opponent and focuses really on the upcoming match. So if you want to be prepared for these matches, subscribe to those, listen to them all, and you'll know exactly what's going on with the team.
Coach, we have a question here for you. What beer is Coach drinking tonight? You are famous for your beer reviews.
Yeah, I am drinking the Kolsch out of Listerman Brewing Company. It's the first time I've had it. I haven't taken a sip yet. I'm letting it get settled, so I'll let you know how it is.
All right.
Coach, that stout pastry I was telling you about, that's good stuff.
Yeah, you got to love it. I have one more pastry stout in my fridge. If this gets ugly, I'll be breaking it out because it's like a 14%er.
Oh,
right.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The one that I have is about 9.
Thanks. 9. Jeez, I'm drinking like a 2.6 Miller 64 over here.
Oh, this is your basic Great Lakes Oktoberfest.
Oh yeah, it's 'tis the season. I love me an Oktoberfest.
So far in the first 16 minutes of the match, just a couple stats to throw out. DC United, 4 shots, 0 on target. They've had 2 corners, 5 crosses. FC Cincinnati has essentially had nothing going on offensively. Yet the possession is, it just updated, 56% to DC, 43% to FC Cincinnati. So I would say while FC Cincinnati had 40 some odd percent of possession, not much purpose to it.
So the positives I'll take here is everything that DC has had has been on the flanks or coming from fouls, right? The midfield trio of Kubo, Stanko, and Amaya have been doing a really good job shifting side to side, keeping a pretty good shape. Stanko's anchoring that as like a true 6, kind of like a lot of people thought he should be playing the whole time. And they're not giving any room in the gaps there in that like zone 20, zone 14 area. So I think that's the positive, right? You're not seeing DC getting a lot of run straight through the middle.
Well, a lot of it's been the dead ball situations so far, and a couple maybe miscellaneous turnovers that FC Cincinnati have either fouled or recovered on. Tall Paul, what do you make so far, man?
I just wish there was more to make. I mean, just in terms of, this has been about 17 minutes. Like, we haven't even been doing. It looks like we're gaining a little bit of at least passing in the back and trying to build up. But even through that little bit, it just felt like we had nothing. Like when you said 43%, I was like, really? Like I was surprised that it was that much. So,
well, Tetons had the ball at his feet getting ready to launch up the field for about half that time. So,
and when they kick the ball way into the air, they get to count all that as their possession until it hits the other person. So,
oh shoot, we are smart, Alex. I love it tonight.
You know what's different for me about this game is looking back at the MLS's back tournament games. They were bunkering, but they were successfully turning everything away. DC United is getting chance after chance here tonight. It's a little bit different from those tournament games.
Pietro has a question in the chat. This is going to go to Coach. Wow, FC Cincinnati with the ball, and Locadia had it offside again, unfortunately. Coach, how is DC playing? Are they really good, or is Cincy just too bad?
So it's tough to tell because we haven't seen them since the earlier stages of the MLS's back tournament because they didn't advance. In that tournament, they looked terrible. They weren't able to create any goals. They drew 2 of their matches, but only because their opponents made critical errors, terrible mistakes that led to their goals. They did not create anything from them for themselves. They have good players though, so I always expected them to improve. They should be a playoff contender this year, hands down, based on their roster. So the answer, Pietro, is a little bit of both. I think FC Cincinnati is playing really poorly, but DC does have the players to make you pay when they're playing well together.
And they're playing without their big DP signing of the season right now, and winger Edinson Flores, the Peruvian international.
Who hasn't settled in and it hasn't looked good. So that may be a big loss long term, but it's not for this match for them.
Interesting seeing Frankie playing that Harris Medunanen role, dropping back and trying to go in between the well, I'll tell you what, he might just switch there with Stanko, but it sure seemed like he was kind of settling in a little bit deeper in possession, in defense.
I think that Frankie may be a future 6. He might be a future 8 as well, but that holding midfield role, like you said, he's in the center now in that sort of 6 role. That could be his future role, in my opinion. He just needs to get a little bit better when he goes into a tackle, of getting his whole body behind it. And if he doesn't get the ball or win the ball, making sure that he takes the player out that's in front of him so he doesn't go around him.
Coach, I feel like I'm watching last year's FC Cincinnati right now. I'm seeing us win possession, immediately stopping and turning it back around, giving it to our center backs. And then it's like you're literally just letting DC United drop back into their defense, even if it's a couple seconds. And then we're trying to move forward in a lot of, congestion in the field.
Yeah, so the way that I believe Stom wants to play in that transition to offense phase is I do think he wants to drop it back and he wants to bore you for about 30 seconds and then all of a sudden go forward quickly like it's a counterattack. So what I expect to see is moments of like really simple passing where you're like, what are they doing? But the idea is that they're supposed to spot the crack as soon as DC United presents it and then slice them right down the middle if possible. Now that's the piece that they're missing. If they did what I thought, which is they worked on their defensive side of the ball and the next phase of play to work on is transition to offense. That's what they're working on now. So this match would serve as a test. How much over the past 2 weeks has Stom been able to get that idea across to the players, how good they are? Now they're missing their best center back passer in Vanderwerf, and they're missing their best midfield passer in Medunanen. So it's just interesting to see if this is going to work.
Kendall Waston just said hello to somebody. I don't know who it was, but he just went through somebody. Yeah, that was interesting. Speaking of a wet t-shirt contest, how about these DC United uniforms? You can see clear through them. Jeez Louise, Coach, you'll see in like 15 seconds. That was my poor attempt at comedy right there.
There's the Kendall, yeah.
Speaking of the devil, another free kick to DC United. And Walston.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I see it now. Yeah, that does not give much, does it?
Reminds me of The Office, the episode where they do the 5K. And we got
Who's Andy Bernard?
Right. That's what I'm wondering. Keep your eye on those shirts.
Carbo loading and the eating the pasta Alfredo right
yeah.
Beforehand. Oh geez, I'll tell you what.
Another guy who's looked way off the pace to me is Kubo. Like he's gotten the ball 3 or 4 times and just given it straight back away. I don't, expect better.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Paul.
I was going to say, I know this is kind of random and it might not have anything to do and it doesn't justify it, but for a lot of these guys, this is the first time playing on this pitch at Nippert. So
yeah, it is.
I wonder if that's maybe playing, like obviously it's not all of it, but I wonder if that's like making it a little bit more difficult.
Big save by Teton at the 23:30 mark on a counter by DC United. You're going to have to check it out. Joe Schmuck, why are we not on the patio for this? Followed by Eric Turner, #PatioEnvy. Well, guys, we sealed and painted the patio on Wednesday, and it has not dried yet. So I am sitting at looking at a brand new patio that I cannot sit on. So Tuesday night though. Is it Tuesday or Wednesday?
I don't know, Rob or Brian, you guys might know the answer to this. Do they have an artificial pitch out at the training center that they can train on?
I think they do.
So they might not have played on this pitch, but they should have been getting some turf time. I would imagine even if they didn't, they would have found a way to have a few training sessions on turf, whether it's at Nippert or somewhere else.
Yeah, they did. I think they were practicing out there beginning Monday.
Yeah.
Or maybe Tuesday.
They just look nervous. That's why I made the crack about the home fans, right? You almost expect this for this new team first home game if there was a crowd, but I don't understand the amount of giveaways, the amount of simple mistakes in possession. I think the only thing that's saving this team right now is they haven't had any catastrophic mistakes defensively yet.
Yeah, you're literally Locadia and De Jong are not putting much pressure. They're shading, but they're not putting much pressure in the opponent's half on the ball. Kubo is about the only one that's putting much pressure, if anything. And then you got behind them Frankie and Stanko. Stanko is shadowing the midfielders. But man, we're just getting shredded.
I'm trying to think of the players that would be playing at Nippert for the first time. Pedersen, Kubo.
Oh, okay. Come on now, Gutman.
This looks better. This looks promising.
De Jong, Locadia.
Yeah, those two. Those four.
Yeah, well, I think that's it.
FC Cincinnati finally had a good opportunity here at the 25-35 mark to attack, and you'll see it, Coach, in a little bit. Gutman seemed to hold on to the ball just a little bit too long, tried to make one too many cuts, and wasn't able to get it over to Locadia. But good vision by Locadia on that pass to Gutman. The Gutman.
Yeah, that was a nice little play. Like you said, I think Gutman probably could have hit that first cross instead of trying to cut it back to his right foot. Once you cut the ball back to your right foot there, you either need to be able to unleash a shot or pass it right away back towards like the penalty spot area. It's going to be really tough to get a legit cross off at that point.
Melvin 67, who is looking like the better team at the moment? I think we all can say probably DC.
Yeah.
I think the one place we have them is the goalkeeper area. I haven't seen their goalkeeper do anything yet. So,
well, geez, that's pretty good. I love it.
No, but T-Pon has looked good. He came out on that free kick and made a strong, aggressive play to get his mitts on it and put it out for a corner. And he's made a couple good saves. So,
Jeremy Lance, a good friend of the pod, asked me if this was going to be a brown drink tonight, and I said, it depends on the score, and it's still 0-0, and I might need one of those bourbons tonight. Oh man, whew. We're getting lucky again, guys.
Yeah.
Is that Yamil? Who is that? Can't tell who that was, but DC United just had a really good attempt at the match, or at the goal at the 27-15 mark.
And it comes off a turnover, right? De Jong gets his pocket picked in the center circle. I guess it's not really direct off that. It's surprising they're having that much luck playing over the top of our backs. With us playing, with FC Cincinnati playing in that like mid to low block.
Oh, Jojo!
United should not have any space in behind.
Jojo doing some magic.
Stay with it.
Oh, come on. That's a foul, sir. Thank you. Yeah, you'll see some magic here, Coach. How far back are you?
27-27.
Oh, you're 30 seconds behind me. Golly. You'll see Joe Jow styling on him here in a second, and gets fouled for a FC Cincinnati free kick in a really dangerous spot.
Oh, wow.
A little half moon runaround, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Joey, Joey Kaling, our digital media extraordinaire, Joe Jow is literally a Dama Traore light.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, he was so highly touted until he messed up his knee. Mm-hmm. And it looks like he's just now starting to recover some of that form. He's confident, and he's the kind of player. He's still a good age. I mean, he could end up looking 2 years from now like one of the biggest steals in the MLS, the way FC Cincinnati was able to bring him in.
He was Christian Pulisic before Christian Pulisic.
Yeah.
All right,
He
Sem
had
Dion with
really
the free
high
kick.
hopes.
A little short. Good idea. Little short. But hey, at least we got a chance there. Gotta take what we can get right now. All right, almost 30 minutes into the match so far. Coach, give us a couple takes on the initial 30.
I'm glad to see that the shots on goal have come from wide places to allow Teton to have a better angle. Like I said, that middle, the zone 14 area, I think has been pretty safe. FC Cincinnati really needs to clean up the fouls, because you put a team like DC United that has some good set piece takers and good headers of the ball on the team, and they're not creating from open play much. You don't want to give them set pieces. And then other than that, they need to find a way to settle down and maintain some possession, put some balls into Jurgen Locadia and Kubo in space where they have time to turn on it. Every touch Locadia's had has seemed to either be offside or facing his own goal, with a defender right up his shirt.
Do you think, I haven't seen it yet, any really urgency to build up through the middle? I feel like everything's going on to our wingbacks to get up the pitch.
Yeah, I think that DC United's doing a really good job of covering up Kubo, and I think in possession, Frankie Amaya and Stanko are splitting wide a bit. Stanko's checking a little more to the middle, but Frankie is trying to pick up the ball a little bit wider in possession oftentimes, or one or the other. Frankie's dropping into the middle and Stanko's moving out wide, trying to create that space for Kubo to get the ball, because they don't want to plug up those gaps by both standing in there. But DC United is doing a really good job. Who is that's sticking on Kubo? It is...
I'll tell you what,
Moreno.
There's a shot here, or a chance. Oh, Joe Chow with the shot. Okay, near post, saved, but good effort. There's a chance here, and you'll see it here in a second, Coach, where Frankie gets the ball. I want to say from Stanko, or maybe Stanko passes it to DeYoung. DeYoung passes it back to Amaya, and then Amaya just holds on to it too long.
Yeah, that's the exact kind of play that they need to have to transition out like that. That putting it into a target player, that target player plays the way he's facing. And then you see how much space Frankie had just by that two quick passes, and he's in acres of space. So I think 4-3-3, that's a really typical way to transition. And I know they're in a 5-3-2, but using that target player, especially when you have Locadia and DeYoung, who both can be really good under pressure.
Last 5 minutes, I've really gotten the sense that they're starting to grow into this a little bit.
Yep. And Clay Winstead on vacation just sent us all a message. Shot on goal. All right. No, I do agree. I think the past 5-6 minutes have been a little bit better for FC Cincinnati. We'll see how much DC United, on the March to Match Day podcast with Brad. I think it's the gentleman from the Filibuster podcast said that DC United has been able to press for the first 25-30 minutes, and they've looked good, and then they've stopped and they've fallen back and they've lost their press, and then that's when they were starting to get taken advantage of. So I'm interested to see how that will work out. Already seems a little bit less urgency on the DC United front on the press over the past couple minutes. Kubo's been able to get on the ball, and he's on the ball right now, driving towards the box. All right, good effort again for FC Cincinnati. I think they're turning a corner here.
In the build-up, keep your eye on, and FC Cincinnati's build-up, keep your eye on Moreno of DC United. He's doing a really good job of shadowing Kubo, and when he's not on him, he's directing others to kind of plug that gap. I think that's a very distinct tactic from Ben Olsen's crew, as he probably told them to make sure that Kubo is not getting any time. You let Kubo in the open field, like that play that just happened a little earlier, and good things happen. So FC Cincinnati is going to have to find a way to run off Kubo or get him moving to get him away from Moreno, I think.
By the way, the Filibuster is a great name for a podcast if you're based in Washington.
Or if you have Clay Winstead on your crew. Shots fired.
I need a drink after that one, Coach. Oh, shoot. So, golly. We will ask you, Coach, during halftime about Kamo Halo Mococho, as well as Alvaro Barrial, on your thoughts on those guys. So stay tuned during halftime. If you have any questions for Coach or the rest of those guys, please put those in the chat and we will call those up. Matt W. Rock in the house on the chat. Glad Matt, all-star extraordinaire, is in the house with us tonight, guys. Yellow card in the sky. Hold it twice as high. Take a look. It's in the book. Send him off now, baby. Who was that? Was that Gressel? Who was that?
Canals, I think.
Oh, Russell Canals. Yeah, he's another guy that had was it with Liverpool? Some aspirations with Liverpool and didn't make it. It's where he was.
The home jerseys look good from far away.
He's where he won. Home jerseys look good from far away without glasses. Yeah, I want an orange kit. I really want like an orange kit with blue trim. I know that's Houston Dynamo's deal, but I'd love a little orange kit. Maybe our third kit.
So that play.
We're good.
So that play earlier where the ball went into De Jong and he bumped it out to Frankie and got him in space. I think that's one of the keys for FC Cincinnati with the way that they're sticking on Kubo. De Jong can drop in off that forward line and let Kubo run in behind. So if those two start to interchange positions a little bit more, that's what I'm saying. If I'm Stom, both of them can play midfield, both of them can play forward. I'm asking those two to do a bit more back and forth and changing up with each other.
And Sam de Jong almost had a dribble through three guys. Oh, and Locadia just threw a bow. He looks like a linebacker. I love him.
That was a nice hustle.
Yeah, he got into that one at 35-ish. You'll love it, Coach. You'll love the heart. Oh, we're getting there. We're looking better. I do miss being at Nippert, though. It's nice to see the stadium, but it still kind of hurts a little bit.
Earlier, they had a shot of Tommy G outside and Kevin McCloskey inside. So even they found a way to make social distancing work.
Yeah. We are getting questions. Yes, 5 subs the rest of the season. Just to let you guys know, there will be 5 subs. We'll see if Coach uses them all. But yes, 5 subs should be available.
I won't be using any of them, Brian, but thank you for your confidence in me.
You're not Yop Stom, I swear. I swear that was Yop Stom. Special shout out to all of our wives and significant others, Tall Paul, not fiance, girlfriend. Special thanks to all y'all for letting us do this. I know my wife, I'm right below the bedroom, and every time I do these shows, she says I talk too much and get too animated and keep her awake. So thank y'all for allowing us to do this fun stuff for you guys. Another yellow card coming out on Caleb Stanko.
This is killing me. I might need to shut it down and move upstairs to the antenna.
Just move the antenna downstairs.
So behind. I
wish I had that option.
I don't even have a window down here.
Do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Coach, what speed do you see in the starting 11?
I don't think that right now I don't think FC Cincinnati has any burners out there. I think probably the fastest guy, if I'm just guessing, is Gutman.
Zhao or Gutman?
Zhao. Probably Zhao. You're right. And they're both wing backs, right? They're not going to get in behind. Now, Locadia is quicker than he looks. You saw it on that foul earlier, the non-foul, the physical play. That acceleration, if he can get matched up on a center back and get played through, he's going to win that race more often than not. So I think that's the speed play. We've heard from Steck that De Jong's quicker than he looks. So we have some quickness out there. Maybe not so much straight line speed other than on the wing backs.
Yeah, when we can't even get a ball to take advantage of our speed right now, it's kind of tough to ask about it. Elkadia's got it a little bit. Man, we just, this is kind of like how Portland was playing against us. Portland, one of the best teams, the best team in MLS is back. I mean, they were having issues breaking down that 5-man back line, and I'm not sure we have the skill in the midfield to even get numbers enough in the attack. So we need a chance where we somehow get a run going. Yeah, come on. He got his pocket picked. Locadia got his pocket picked in a play that almost needed to happen where, he times his run perfectly and catches their defense napping a little bit. Good ball by Amaya.
Mm-hmm.
But corner? Yeah, it looks like corner. Let's go. Come on, big boys.
Oh yeah, that was a nice run there.
Yuya Kubo taking the corner kick. Ian Query 1. Wild change in possession these last 10 minutes. What was that?
Okay, that should be the last corner Kubo takes.
I didn't even see it. Did he just scuff it?
I don't know how he struck it, but man, that was a weak ground ball back to the pitcher.
Pietro again. Who is the best Cincy player so far this match? Zhao or Gutmann?
Zhao.
Yeah, I'd say Zhao.
Outfield player. You could probably give it to Teton.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Pedersen's looked pretty good, but none of the defenders have kept the ball well enough to be on that shout.
Yep. I'll tell you what, man. At least we're getting on the ball a little bit more now. God, it's so easy to play the ball back. I just feel like I wish somebody would just use their skills a little bit and try to create something with their feet versus just giving up on the attack. That might be an ignorant comment there, Coach, but
I don't think it's ignorant. I think it's really common, but I think that when you're not comfortable playing the ball into tight spaces because you're turning the ball over a lot, I think you end up.
Frankie with the shot far post just wide. Long distance shot. Good take. Rishuki says Zhao.
I think that was a comment about the fastest player, maybe.
Oh, either way. Oh, man, we're getting into it. I'd say the first 30 minutes was squarely DC United. I'd say the past 10 have been FC Cincinnati, except for that little stupid play right there by Pedersen. Pedersen drops the ball back to Teton, who had a runner right on top of him, and Teton nearly got his pocket picked, but fortunately, he was able to corral it. Coach, we looks like we signed a D mid. Looks like we're signing a winger. We have one spot left on the senior roster with approximately $500,000 to $600,000 left in cap space. You got to go get another center back, right?
I would imagine. Probably a lot of it depends on how close you think Van der Werf is to returning. I think that to play four in the back, their FC Cincinnati does not have the center backs to do that without Van der Werf on the team. I think Van der Werf and Pedersen can do it. I think Waston, Pedersen, DePlan, Hagland, all these guys are better suited to play in a 3 center back setup.
Mm-hmm.
So Coach, if you were looking for a center back, what would be the number one attribute you would want in them?
I think with this crew, I would want recovery speed. A guy like Ike Opara does a lot of things really well, but that's his best attribute. His recovery speed, he's not going to get beat by many center forwards. You're going to have to get a winger isolated on him to outrun him. We've seen a few times already where little loopy balls over the top to whoever's playing up top for DC have just left our center backs in the dust. They just do not move well. And it does no good to have a center back who can build up in possession so well. Like Pedersen's pretty good on the ball, but if you don't have much of the ball, it's not doing you very good.
Hey, Henry Maguire, whatever his name, might be available now after committing some sort of incident in Mykonos. So we'll see. I think he should be a target coach.
I'd love to have Harry Maguire. He's not exactly quick either, though.
Oh, Teton we just look slow. Oh, we concede a corner off a crappy clearance by Teton was that to DePlan?
Yeah.
That was dumb. That was a bad play. By the way, good job, supporters. The Bailey looks awesome.
That it does.
Rob, you're a fan of the team that has the consensus best center back in the world on it. Virgil van Dijk. What do you think his best attribute is? Obviously he's great at a lot of things.
Yeah. Clearance, and he's got a good noggin too, up on the offensive end.
Yeah, and he's a guy who, when you watch, he is underrated in terms of his speed. People don't understand how quick he is.
To think we could have had Ike Opara.
Yeah.
Oh well. What do we trade? Hagelin was what, 700,000 in allocation money, something like that.
I don't want to
Oh, geez. Now, we were talking about having a good 10-minute span. I think DC woke up.
Yeah, they did.
But everything created, I feel like, has been out of Gutmann or Jao getting up the side, making a good run with their feet, and outside of that, man, not feeling great right now. Good luck with those player ratings, Brad.
DC brought the press back again, so they were on for 25 minutes, off for 20, and now here at the end of the half, they're pressing again.
I just have to wonder how hurt Alan Cruz has been, or just the lack of fitness. What's going on there? Because he's too good to be sitting on the sidelines. You got to find a place for him, right? He's a DP, for goodness sakes.
I think so. I think a lot of people do. If you look at the chat bar, a lot of people think Cruz, he was the best player last year, right?
Yeah, you. All right, guys, we are officially at halftime. 0-0 FC Cincinnati, DC United. Got to make a new graphic for the second half. I do want to give a special shout out to all of our supporters of Cincinnati Soccer Talk. This is a great time for you guys to go get a beer if you want to. My co-hosts, Tim Bronsel, Tom Rose, Matt Adamchick, Mike Hudson, Brian Malone, Jamie Smed, Jonas Tom, Jack Emery, Mike Bowman, Kathleen Francis, Matt Imholt, Matthew Long, Joe Coling, Tara Mullins, Riley Stephen Burke, and Melissa Bingle. Thank you guys so much for all of your donations to Cincinnati Soccer Talk. To learn more how to join as a supporter of Cincinnati Soccer Talk, go to cincinnati-soccertalk.com/support. Also, that'll get you an entry into the 2020 Growler Cup competition, which is going on right now, where you get to pick against your favorite prognosticators of Cincinnati Soccer Talk, win some prizes, and have a good amount of fun. So please go put your questions into the chat. Looks like Rob and Paul are headed to the bar and getting some drinks for him to get him a little liquid courage through this match. So, Coach, you can either go upstairs, or I can ask you a couple questions about some of the recent signings, or you can go upstairs and come back, whatever you want to do.
No, have at it. I'm game for some questions here.
So I don't know how much you've heard, but we'll start with Kamo. Kamo Hello Makocho, the center defensive midfielder out of Brentford in England, the English Championship, South African international. I think 20 some odd appearances for them. Very well respected player. Joins FC Cincinnati on a free transfer. So what do you think of his addition to FC Cincinnati? What will he bring? And, you had mentioned it, that we need a defensive midfielder more than any other position. So kind of tie all that in there.
Well, so when I started looking into Jaap Stam as a coach, the one thing I noticed about his best Reading teams is they included Danny Williams in the center of the park in like a 6 or a dual 8 sort of role. And he was a player who could cover a lot of ground. So it allowed Stam the ability to put his players forward in a different sort of manner, because he knew Williams was back there to clean up any counterattack or anything that happened. My hope is that Kamo could be that for Stam, for FC Cincinnati. I've been scouting him, watching some of his game film, some clips, and it's a little bit hard to tell because it's a totally different level of play. He seems really capable on the ball. I don't know how fast he is, but he hasn't looked slow in any of the things that I've seen. It'll be really interesting to see him run and play against players that were familiar with their speed. Watching him play in the championship, I just didn't have a reference if he's running alongside one of the midfielders. I don't know who that midfielder is and how fast he is either. So, but I'm really excited by the signing, because I think it shows an intention to get back to the type of play that Stam had at Reading, and for a little bit when he was at Feyenoord, with that the more offensive based sending players forward, because a guy like Kamo that can cover ground behind you allows you to send an extra body into the attack.
Yeah, he is somebody that is going to be a TAM signing, definitely max contract. I had reported that he was seeking about $1 million a year in his new contract. That was pre-COVID. Don't know if he's going to end up there, but definitely a max contract player. He was making about $650,000 in England, and coach is gone again. So we'll see how that goes. Tall Paul, I gotta take you off mute here, pal. There we go. So far, I'm going to go back to the listener questions for this half from Pietro. Who is the worst player on the pitch so far?
Man, that's a tough one.
Tough one,
right? Throw me right into the fire.
I'll say Pedersen, honestly.
Yeah, the center backs have not looked impressive at all. Also, I wouldn't say worst, but maybe most disappointing has been probably Kubo. Just haven't seen much from him or Locadia, but Deplan. Yeah, I mean, it's just been one of those where I don't think we've had a serious, like, there's been small mistakes, but we haven't seen anything too serious or too catastrophic yet. So it's kind of hard to say who's the worst, but I would probably say, yeah, Pedersen's a good one.
Yeah, I just feel like his passing hasn't been there. He's turned the ball over several times. Even Deplan, the fouls, putting the keeper in bad situations. Anybody in that back three right now, I think, is very suspect, to say the least. Oh, no fan's going to be allowed at the Kentucky Derby. Can you believe that, Paul? Come on, be better, Louisville. Jeez.
That means I don't have to deal with, since it's right by U of L, I don't have to deal with that madhouse, so that'll be nice.
So far, Truth or Dare says the best player has been Jiao, worst has been Deplan. Coach, we had this question in the chat. Who's been the worst player so far?
That's a good question. I
said
think
Pedersen.
I definitely don't think it's been Pedersen. I think Deplan's been worse than him.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I think that I would go with Deplan. I think he's looked a step slow. I think he's looked a little bit out of position a few times.
Okay. Yeah, he's also left Teton out to dry a couple times on some bad passes. All right, well, let's go back into the transactions that we had today. Reports out of Argentina from breaking the news was Sabato Velez in Argentina reported that Alvaro Barrial, left winger, 20-year-old out of Velez in Argentina, is going to be transferred to FC Cincinnati for a fee of $1.7 million. That'll be for 75% of his rights, which means should FC Cincinnati hit the lottery, transfer him on to Newcastle like Almiron, they get a good payday as well. So what do you think of that signing? Of course, we did let go Kikuta Mane this week.
I think it was much needed for depth on the wing. I have not had a chance to scout him and check into his film, see how good of a player he is yet. I will do that, and I'll try to release an article on him and Camo this next week. But I think that a wing was definitely a position of need after dropping Mane. And I think that it, again, showing the intention of going down south and getting a young player with possible sell-on value. It's something that we haven't seen Gerard Nijkamp do yet. So it's starting to show that he has more than one arrow in his quiver. You know, the Dutch arrow isn't the only one he can fire. So,
well, there is a lot of Dutch link to this. I believe he has the same agency as Said Bakati, and then from what I'm hearing, that there was several Dutch coaches or agents that had worked with him in the past. So tapping into some Dutch ain't the worst thing in the world.
You know, I was listening to one of the athletics podcasts called Allocation Disorder. They were talking about MLS being a selling league and how GMs that have those relationships and know how the international markets work are needed in the MLS for teams to improve, to be able to sell on their players. And it made me confident in Gerard. And I think that's another example of this. So yeah, the Dutch connection, but fine. If the Dutch connection gets you more than just European Dutch players, even better. It shows that he has those networks built. And I think it shows good things. I think Gerard's a good get for this squad. He's done well so far.
Okay. So I posed this to Paul and Rob earlier. Is this signing to me speaks of, we have a good roster. It's in a much better place than it was now. We're not throwing this young guy to the Sharks to get in right away. He's going to have a runway to launch here at FC Cincinnati, but he's going to be huge, he's going to be great for the budget, but he's going to be expensive. I mean, I just feel like it's the step that we need to be taking, but we are in the right position to take it.
Yeah, I think that's the hope. If he's coming in to be a savior or starting right away, I think
That's
we're in
not
trouble.
it. I can't imagine he's a starter right away.
Yeah, I would be surprised. Again, I haven't scouted him yet, but I can't imagine that he'd be brought in, especially because with the formation we're playing, we don't play with a lot of wings, and that seems to be his favored position, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when FC Cincinnati does play with wings, they have Kubo, who's going to play out there, and Regaton, who's looked really good when he's had the chance, when he's not exhausted. So
he does play behind. Oh shoot, what's his name? Lucas Janssen. So if you remember that name, Lucas Janssen was a high-level TAM player for Toronto FC back, I think, 2 seasons ago, and he was brought in this season and had started over Barrial. So it's something interesting to see. Apparently, he also can play in the middle of the park, but I think he's more linked to that the wing. Interesting enough, he is actually him and Yamil Assad both come from that same club and have some links in their careers together. I noticed that when there were some rumors of that, Yamil Assad actually had liked a couple of those posts today, which is interesting. So Yamil Assad, of course, playing for DC United this evening. All right, I am going to go grab my beer so you three talked amongst yourselves for a couple minutes and don't get in any trouble. You know, hot mics are a dangerous thing. Actually, being a bad person's a dangerous thing, but you know how it goes. See you in a minute.
Yeah, so I'm just looking into a few stats here, and you know, something that I think is really interesting about Barrial is he completes nearly 11 successful dribbles per 90 minutes. And if you don't know anything about that stat, most players, even really good players, are like around 5. For an example, Carlos Vela is at 7.5 successful dribbles per match. So it seems, just looking at the stats, like this guy likes to get on the ball and run with it. Now that said, he probably loses the ball a lot as well. You know, he's completing only around half of his dribbles, and he's completing 11 per 90. So that means he's getting stuck 11 times as well. But he's young, so I think that's exciting to have a young, exciting South American that's going to come into the club and push the defense to get better and push the other players, just that competition. I think it's going to be good. Kubo can't just rely on the fact that he's a DP if he's got a young gun behind him that's nipping at his heels.
Oh yeah, for sure. I still have to do my scouting on him. I've not done my homework. It was in the middle of dinner and everything when the news broke, but yeah, Kubo can't sit on his laurels, that's for sure.
Yeah, anytime you add players for competition, I think it's good for the club. Just the fact that he's young and exciting, I think, just is good for the whole organization.
Mm-hmm. Looking at some halftime stats, they just flashed some stats up. FC Cincinnati has a 56-44 possession advantage, which I would not have thought. That kind of surprised me looking at that. And from Matt W. Rock watching us, he's asking, what subs would you make in the second half?
What subs? I mean, I want to see Cruz get a run. I don't think that I would do that right away. There's nobody in the midfield that I would pull out. I can't imagine that De Jong is going to last 90 minutes, although maybe he will. So maybe look at about 60 minutes, putting Cruz in for De Jong and then pushing Kubo up into that second forward position. I also would love to see the team shift to a little more spread out formation with some wingers, even if it ends up being like a 3-4-3, which plays more like a 5-2-3. I'd be okay with that. Leaving Stenko and Frankie, or Stenko and Cruz, somebody like that in the middle, and putting Regaton on the pitch. I'd like to see Regaton get a run out here. Like I said, I've been pretty impressed with him.
Yeah, I was just about to mention Regaton.
Paul?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if Kubo is having I would maybe see about fresh legs for Kubo, but that's just personal opinion.
I think it's valid. He hasn't been great, right?
Regaton is out, baby. What's that mean?
Oh, I did not know.
I thought he was in.
I thought he was in the 18.
Yeah.
Maybe
listed
they're
as a
saying
7.
he's out on the pitch warming up.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah, because he's in the 18.
Check that out.
That's
Oh,
Medunian. That's
what
Medunian.
about your 3? Let's do our 3-word reviews on the first half, guys. Any 3-word reviews? We'll start with since you're the young guy, we're gonna go with you, Tall Paul.
Grabbed a drink, so I'm switching to alcohol.
There you go. Rob?
I will say patience.
Coach?
I'm an onomatopoeia kind of guy, so I'm gonna go Those are my 3 words.
Well, I was gonna just say complete a pass, but that's cool too.
Don't expect me to spell it.
Stop back passing. Yeah, that's
I do see that we do only have 7 guys on the team sheet, so it does look like 18 versus 23. All right, guys, looks like we're getting ready to kick off the second half here. Well, Pietro said he can't believe that possession was 56 for FC Cincinnati and 44 for DC. Well, there was a lot of times where, I mean, especially in the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the match, we had quite a bit of possession.
Yeah, the last 10 minutes of the match, or at least it looks like looking at the 5-minute breakdowns around the 40th minute mark, or 35 to 40, FC Cincinnati had the ball for almost the entire time. So it shocked me when I saw it. When I start to think through the match and look at the breakdown, it makes a little more sense because they definitely grew into the match late in the half. And it looks like to me that they had more possession the majority of the time, basically the back end of the first half, the last 20, 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it definitely seemed to be coming in there. And there was actually possession a little bit with purpose. Oh, Alan Cruz is on the field right now.
You get your wish, Coach. We all get our wish.
Who's he coming in for? Looks like Stanko's still on the pitch. Who's he coming on for?
Is Amaya out there?
Yeah,
I think so. Maybe not.
Trying to get my pitch side contacts to get me better updates.
Yeah, Maya's talking to Cruz right now, I think. Where's that Chow?
Cruz. Be nice if we got an update. Come on, give me an update.
It's Stanko, right?
No, Stanko's out there.
Where is he playing?
Stanko is definitely on the pitch right now. Looks like
Scene?
Kubo?
Yeah,
no, Cruz. No, Cruz is up top. Cruz is up top. So or is that De Jong that dropped back? I can't see.
De Jong.
Alan Cruz comes on the pitch for De Jong, which is fine. We got less schedule congestion. It wasn't like he was lighting the world on fire anyway. Let's give him a rest. I mean, we're going to need him as a 9 potentially in certain instances when he's healthy. So I'm completely okay with this.
I am as well. My only small disappointment there is if he was only going to play limited minutes, I would have liked to see him not start, just because he's a guy who can really help unlock a tired defense.
I mean, you say that, but Cruz did that in the second. Well, I guess Cruz and De Jong did that in the second half of.
No, but you're right. Cruz is a guy
Portland.
who can put a lot of pressure on the opposition just with his running. You see it already on that back pass to the keeper. Cruz went straight for it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting that Coach Stom sees him as an offensive player. Your kids in the basement with you, Coach?
Yes, they are. You're welcome. I came down here to get away from them, not get rid of them. Well, that, not saying, but if anybody is looking for a couple.
3. Yeah, I got 3. If anybody's looking for 1, the 10-month-old doesn't sleep, so he's so super cute though.
My wife and I have been saying we would definitely get rid of one of our kids, except we couldn't choose which one, so we just decided we'll keep all 3.
I know that the worst part is I'm a horrible parent. I know exactly which one I get rid of. Exactly. Not even close. Oh shoot! Am I a horrible person? I feel like I am. It's okay.
No,
my brother says I am.
You're a parent of a baby. That is enough said.
He wouldn't be the one I'd give up. Which really, it's 50-50 now, people.
But when you're tired from a
Oh,
baby,
Cruz, come on, baby.
everything else is harder.
Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, well, we won't go into that. I could give you a spiel, but we're here on to talk about soccer, not kids. Paul, hey, listen, buddy.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah. Well, what are you drinking there? What is that? Stout?
No, it's a Jack Daniel's Blackjack Cola. Because
Really?
I'm not fancy.
And Paul's off the show this evening.
I switched from Diet Mountain Dew to that, so that's as much as you're gonna get from me.
Oh, this is being recorded for blackmail, Bri. Thanks, Alex. Joe Schmuck. Brad is the smart one. He has the pool. Yes. All true on all accounts. True on all accounts. Oh, what does Brad call himself? The Funkle? The Funkle?
Fun uncle.
Fun Uncle the Funkle.
So it looks to me, and I don't know if this was a distinct change or not, but it looks for me that Kubo is trying to stay a bit higher in possession, get a little more connected to the front two. So either he just did that on his own or Stam has directed him to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that signals maybe a little more of trying to play into those target players a little earlier, not so many back passes, but we'll have to see if that plays out like I think it would. I saw earlier Cruz made a really nice run from a bit of a deeper position, and I think it was Zhao on the ball, just missed picking him out. But I think his just constant running, his movement, I think will really start to put some pressure on that back line of DC, which could open up other players as well. So I like that move from Stam.
I'll tell you what, both sides here have to be really disappointed in their opportunities creating in the final third. Yes, DC's had more, but a lot of those have been from free kicks. I mean, both sides, once you get to that, those back three have been finding it really difficult to thread the needle and break that last line.
Which makes sense. I mean, both teams' defenses have been good in the MLS's back tournament, and I guess that's all we have to go on. Earlier in the season, FCC's defense was not good.
Joe Zhao just got roasted, but the cross goes way long, and DC will really want that opportunity back. I think that's a rookie, his first start. I can't remember his name right now, but yeah, interesting. There is a lot of talent on this DC United team. I don't know how they're not better. A lot of names, and they can still bring on some pretty good players here in the last 40.
It's Paredes.
Yeah, I'm getting a message from Jack Emery. Are we switching formations? It still looks like we're in a 5-3-2. Maybe with Kubo moving a little forward.
Yeah, but I don't think that he's part of the forward line. I just think before that, three of the midfield looked a little flatter with Kubo playing to the right, Frankie to the left, and Stanko in the center. And I think now it's more of a triangle with Kubo and Frankie as more of a double pivot and Cruz ahead of them. So I guess you could make the argument that it's instead of a 5-3-2, it's a 5-2-1-2. But I mean, that's semantics at that point.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's really difficult when we finally get possession. There's three guys marking Locadia out of this game right now. Two at worst. And it's really tough. I don't think he's been bad, but he's just not really having the opportunities.
Yeah, Stam needs to find a way to put pressure in behind those wing backs to spread those three center backs out wide. And that is Gutman and Zhao getting forward. When they've been able to get forward, they've looked good. The problem is so many quick turnovers from FC Cincinnati has pinned them back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think the bright spot on the back? We were talking a little bit, but I don't think Waston's been terrible. He's won a lot of balls, a couple offside traps. He's not been great passing, but is he supposed to be?
Yeah, I think that's my biggest knock on him is just that ball over the top where he just ended up being offside. That play there that was marginal offside, that's happened 2 or 3 times on Waston. That shot where Teton had to make a really good save at the near post, I think, was on Waston.
Mm.
He's just getting beaten with that over the top ball.
Locadia got his pocket picked in the final third. Yeah, this is a lot of action in the middle third of the park here. Middle third and then our end. Oh, head of lettuce. Thanks for reminding me. Forgot about Pipa. Yeah, he's a player, man. He can do anything. You give him 30 minutes to create trouble, and that's dangerous. We'll see if Gonzalo joins him in DC. Hey, was he really released by Juventus today?
That's the word.
My goodness. Mario Götze, let's bring Gonzalo in. How about that?
When DC first picked up Higuain, that was one of the things that a lot of people said, is this a move to eventually get Gonzalo in a year or two? I don't think they expected it so quick. We'll see if he has other takers in Europe or not.
I know they've always been trying to get Mesut Ozil.
Mm-hmm.
I think he even has like a sub shop or something, or coffee shop.
Yeah, I think he owns a coffee shop in DC.
Yeah. Interesting.
Somebody get him some help.
one-on-one.
He needs some help.
53-22. Yeah. Beat the inline corner to FC Cincinnati. Good job. Nobody was there. You'll see it coaching here in a second. Nobody was there with Locadia. We had a couple runners coming in late, but he was pretty lucky to get that corner. So let's see who takes it. Looks like Kubo again. So hopefully you get a better result, or we have to might have to call in Tyler Pollock.
It looks like Frankie did a nice job winning that ball too.
Frankie, then Alan Cruz.
Yeah, Cruz has released Locadia a couple times with those balls. Cruz has made a difference already.
Oh wow, that was a driving laser of an effort by Kubo. It almost looked like a hockey shot. Just throw the puck into the crowd and see what happens. Joe Zhao is having, sometimes he gets the ball and he looks dynamite. Other times this turf and him aren't best friends. Oh my goodness. I really hate being 30 seconds ahead of you, Coach and Paul. Eric Turner, I thought Higuain was headed to LA Galaxy. I don't think they have room.
Ooh, they always have room.
They have like 5 people. They legit have like, I mean, Katai was well, no, they cut him. That's right, because his wife said something really dumb. Really bad. I don't think Stink has been terrible, but that was a bad giveaway.
Uh-oh.
Frankie Amaya with the recovery speed. And is that Julian Gressel with the field goal?
I think I might be further than 30 seconds back from you guys. I think FC Cincinnati finding a bit more pockets of space in that midfield. I like the interchange happening between Stanko and Cruz, Locadia dropping in and getting a few touches. But yeah, that turnover to Gressel was really poor.
If we play this way versus Columbus Crew next Tuesday, we're going to have issues.
It'll be another long night.
Yeah.
I think that's when we play, right? Tuesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
You're talking about this coming week?
Is it Wednesday?
No,
it's Tuesday because we play Friday, Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday.
I know one game was moved from Tuesday.
we play Tuesday at 7:30 versus Chicago. Sorry, at Soldier Field. Hey, I'd rather play them than Columbus. Oh, I don't want to play Columbus, but we play them next Saturday in Nippert.
One thing to keep an eye on down the stretch, guys, is, there are the 5 subs, but with the recent trades, FC Cincinnati not only is short on their bench, but they're short of attacking options. The only 2 attacking options on the bench are Regatin and Vasquez.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see, if Greg Garza makes an appearance, just to give Gutman, just to get fresh legs the last 10 minutes, something like that, because Tom just does not have a lot of options.
Yeah, in the fact is we are not going to get these guys here anytime soon either. I mean, I think it took a month to get Locadia, DeYoung, those guys their green cards.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that we don't know is if Mokotio was already in the country. Because he has been out of contract for a bit. He is not.
He is not. No, Mokotio is in England. his family is very excited to come to the States, but no, they are not. They are not in the States right now.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
They were talking about it yesterday with Alex Steck that he's going to have to quarantine after he gets to the U.S. and then he'll be able to get into training. So we're at least at best looking 2 weeks. So probably not for this set of 6 matches.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And Harris, I mean, if he's still in Israel, he's going to have to sit out another couple weeks. So we're going to be without some players. Apparently, Semdyong did pick up a injury, so that's why he's out.
Interesting.
So that's no good. No good.
You know, one attacking move that could be made by Stom is to put in a defender and move Zhao further
I was
forward.
just thinking that. I mean, you could put Hagelin in, move Deplan out or over to the right, and then Zhao out. Or do we have who's in the? Is Bailey?
No, he's not in the 18.
God, I want to see that kid.
Yeah, I think the only right back cover we have is Deplan. I think Deplan would have to move out right for that to happen.
Hagelin, you got Hagelin, Garza are the 2 defenders. You got Cruz, who's in, McCabe, and Vasquez, and Regaton.
Or shoot, they make Cruz just play all out of position. Just throw him at right back, see what he can do.
Oh, poor Jeremy Miller. So Jeremy Miller are great photographers at the match tonight, and he always does crowd shots, and he sent us a crowd shot for this evening, and boy, did the bleachers at Nippert look empty. They look lonely. Edison Flores coming in for DC United. Big playmaker. Actually, more like a winger, but he's coming in for their forward, Ola Kamara. See what happens here. Lettuce. Harris and his wife are in the States. Is that true?
That's what I had heard as well, that she was not able to make it over before MLS is back, but that she is over here now.
Is she? Thank goodness. Oh, good. Yes. Laura Fowler said that she was able to arrive before her August due date. That's wonderful. So that would be great to have him in. Pietro, since he has more passing accuracy than DC, that's interesting. Passing is good, but DC has a really defensive formation. Since he should send Locadia to attract the defense, then send someone to infiltrate while their defense is focused on Locadia. That speaks of Alan Cruz, the king of the late run.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I was saying with Siem de Jong in the first half. If you have Locadia now drop deeper into that midfield and let Cruz, who is playing, in that 10 role, overlap, or have Kubo run off of him, I think that I think that's exactly how to play with a packed defense like this. Have Locadia start from that back 3 and hope to pull one of them into the midfield as he checks.
Oh, Kubo with a nice tackle there, but Gutman had a terrible giveaway to Edinson Flores that gave DC United a really good shot. I think Flores got tripped up a little bit by Deplan. I think he would have liked to make it a little bit better effort than that, but they did win a corner, so we'll see. Head of lettuce. Flores looked totally lost during MLS's back.
Yeah,
Brad Weigel. FC Cincinnati has 27 final third passes, DC 67. Neither of which are really a ton.
Just that possession in the final third, though, with FC Cincinnati, pipping the possession battle, it just shows that most of their possession is in the defensive and middle thirds of the field. That flailing tackle by Deplan there, those are the kinds of things that make me nervous. He was nowhere close to the ball. Flores was running away from the goal. If he caught a piece of Flores' leg, or Flores was able to turn that ball towards the frame as Deplan went to ground, I just think those are the kinds of things that make me think we really need to add another center back.
Oh, man. Frankie trying to spring Locadia, got the ball to him, but it's 1 versus a lot of freaking dudes in white jerseys. So the hold-up play, he's able to do it. Got a little bit of help, but still not really great.
One thing I'm going to be keeping my eye on, Brian, is I'm going to keep an eye on if Stom goes for the win at the 75th or 80th minute mark, or if he really is just content to play for the draw. That'll be an interesting thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to go for it, right?
Well, it depends how we're doing right now. If they're the guys that are getting the chances, I'd say for a point, we need everything we can. Because here's the thing. If the league can get through this whole COVID scenario, especially right now with numbers up, and get to this fall where we still have 12 games to go with decent players coming in, every point gets us closer to that. Was it the top 10 in the East get to go to the playoffs?
Yep.
So that's the goal right now, is to be at least 10th out of 14.
Yeah.
I know it's sad, but that's the truth.
Yeah, but with no preseason, this is Stom's 4th match in charge. He's had all of 4 or 5 weeks with the team altogether, maybe 6 weeks tops. I don't think it would be the worst thing at all to say, if we can come out of Stom's first 2 months in charge with points in the bank, that's a good thing. The team should show steady improvement.
Build confidence, man. That's huge. Oh, good cross there by Cruz, I want to say, but Locadia just wasn't in the right position to take the header. But
it was Zhao.
Oh, was that Zhao that put the Cruz in? Well, you still got a decent back line there with DC. I mean, you got Federico Brilliant, I think that's his name, and then Steve Birnbaum. So they're going to be tough to beat in the air.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I said on Talking Tactics, my podcast, is, if this team is still playing this way when the next set of games is released by MLS, that'll start to make me nervous. This sort of sitting back, not pressuring a lot, not taking the game to the opponent. I think that's really normal for a team in this sort of transition with a new coach.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with the getting points where you can get them. It's a lot different than last year where you had 3-1, 4-1, 4-1, 3-1,
7-1.
Yeah.
It is what it is. We got to take our lumps.
Yeah, and the other thing here is think of the other coaches FC Cincinnati has had and think of what their defensive records were like when they took the team over. The fact that Stom has come in and shored up the defense to this extent, is heartening if he can get anything going forward. And he's really known, I know he's a defensive guy, but he's known as an offensive-minded coach. He likes his teams to have the ball. He likes his teams to get forward. So if he can make any headway on the offensive side of the ball, I think that the team's really going to start to look like they can play with a lot of teams. And when you can defend like this, you have a chance to upset anyone.
Nice
good
pass.
ball.
Break. Yeah.
Kuba had a really good ball out to Gutman, but the cross was really bad. Oh, well. Bill Hamid in goal. Boom. Was that you, Rob? I was coach. What you drinking there, coach?
Wasn't me. I'm getting another beer. I got to swish my cup with water.
You can go get a beer. We're here to have fun.
Next to my beer fridge.
Are you really? So mine's down in the basement, and I put in some beers at like 5, and they're not necessarily as cold as I like. I love mine like nearly frozen. But then again, I'm drinking like Miller 64 right now. Watching the figure.
I was gonna say, when you're drinking that water, you need beers that are real cold.
Adrian Regaton is coming in for 33. Is that
Stanko?
Okay, wow. Yeah, well, there's your going for the win here, coach.
Yeah.
I expect Cruz to drop back to the midfield. I expect Kubo to go wide and Regaton to go wide and give more like a 3 up top look. We'll see, though.
I didn't say this earlier in front of you, coach, because I figured you'd make fun of me. But since I can't embarrass myself further, since I'm drinking Miller 64, I did buy a 6-pack of Leinenkugel's Harvest Patch Shandy, and not a fan. No, not a fan. There's like nutmeg or something in there.
Shandy's not beer, so.
Well, yeah, I never get shandies. I'm like, oh, this looks cool.
Shandy is a mixed drink.
Pietro again. FC Cincinnati reminds me of Sao Paulo FC this season. Good in possession, good passing, but 0 attack. We are hearing, guys, is this a 4-3-3 now? Well, we'll see, won't we?
I can't imagine because Yeah, I guess it's a 4-3-3. If Kubo's playing in the midfield, it's a 4-3-3.
Looks like Regetin is out to the left.
Zhao to the right and Kubo in the midfield. Deplan. Yeah, this is definitely a 4-3-3. You can tell by how wide the center backs are split apart. Kendall and Pedersen. You're going to see a lot more room in the midfield with those center backs spread out and a lot more windows to pick passes. So I expect to see Frankie to start to really get on the ball, dictate play more, and see if we can spring those wings in behind the wing backs of DC. I think that this is a great move.
Look at this. Look at this. Locadia with blocked shot. Locadia did a step over and tried to release a shot, but true to form, gets blocked by somebody else. So how many? He must lead the league in block shots and over like time played. I swear to goodness. All right, that should be a corner, right? Yep, corner to FC Cincinnati. It's a really beautiful little run by Locadia. Gets the ball, gets a lot of speed going, does a step over, but Brilliant just gets his foot out in front of that shot. Yeah, it does look like Frankie's playing that deeper role. To me, I couldn't really tell, but maybe Kubo looked like he was still in the midfield. And
yeah, he's playing the 10.
Cruz is the left wing. Regatin was right wing.
No, I think that Zhao is playing the right wing.
Right wing. So Regatin,
he looks like he's kind of playing a free role underneath. I don't really know what Regatin's doing.
I'm looking at the chat and looking at the TV and everything, so I don't get to see as much as you guys.
Lettuce says it's a 5-2-3, which is one of the things I said, to get wingers on the field, but keep that back five. But seeing how Pedersen and Waston were so far apart.
Yeah. And Frankie dropping back between them. Yeah, okay. Regatin's definitely on the left, but Cruz is up there too. Maybe the 4-2-2-2-2. Zhao. I love watching him on the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He's been fun tonight.
You guys were hating on me last year, but I told you I had a man crush on him. I just called it.
I never hated on you.
Again, I was on a show every 6 months last year, so hey, is what it is. Maybe every 3 months. Oh my God, my kids are tearing something up fierce in the room next door to me. Paul. Did your girlfriend ever forgive me for calling her your fiance?
Yeah, she did.
Good. The fact that she took offense to that doesn't speak great about your relationship, buddy.
I thought we were talking about soccer. Is that what you said?
When you don't know what to say, Paul, just put the bottle in your mouth and tip it up.
Regatin with the free kick, 70th minute. This is a shootable chance. Oh, just high. Shootable? Is that a word? Shootable?
Shottable.
He shot that over the bar. Man, I'd rather have Locadia take that chance. All right, so far so good. 71 minutes in, 0-0.
I knew there were going to be a lot of goals in this one.
Again, to what Coach said earlier, much better DC team than their record is. Much better. Yamil Saad, he was a stud back in Atlanta days, and he transferred, came back into the league. He's a good player.
Julian Gressel hasn't quite settled in, but really good player.
If they can get their shooting touchdown, they're a deadly team. FC Cincinnati is really trying to play the ball quickly now, getting forward, trying to push it versus that methodical, playing out the back. They're definitely trying to get forward, but then they got the guys to do it as well. So Cruz, I would say, is a little bit better offensively on the ball, considerably better than Stanko was, but even better than Frankie. So it's kind of nice to see him up there. And then you got Zhao. Locadia is, baby! Oh, man! See, that's what we need right there. A little give and go. Locadia gets a free shot outside the box, but imagine if he was just 5 yards closer. But that was much better. Much better from FC Cincinnati. I think I'm not sure DC United knows what to do right now with this little change of formation.
Yeah, I mean, it shows really good tactical nous by Stom to change things up like that enough to confuse a veteran team like DC.
Isn't it amazing? Like actually trusting the string puller right now, otherwise known as the head coach. Paul, give me a little help here, Paul. Come on, buddy.
A little help.
I can't pick on Clay right now, so I'm gonna pick on you.
I think that FC Cincinnati guys is in the exact same formation. They're in the 5-3-2. I just think Regatin went forward. And I think that
nice.
And Cruz dropped into the midfield. I mean, that's what happened. So I think that
right now
the personnel is different and the tactic is a bit different. Like you said, the quicker play, looking for the interchanges, but I don't think that the formation changed.
Yeah, you do see Cruz dropping a little bit. Regatin he's got a motor. I mean, he just goes wherever. My worry is we get into a situation right now with Pedersen. You'll see it at the 73-24 mark. Just makes a great read of the play, coach. Doesn't make a great back pass, but great read of the play to cut off an attack.
Yeah, he didn't know what to do going forward. He's a little lost there.
From all we heard about how good of a passer and distributor, we haven't seen it a bunch tonight. Higuain's coming in, guys.
Oh boy.
For Gressel, I think. And Paredes. Joseph Mora for Kevin Paredes. Pipa. It's so weird cheering against a dude you've cheered for so long. Federico Higuain coming in. Yamil Assad coming out. That's a typo on the screen. Last name is Assad. Coach, is that the authentic one or is that the replica one?
Replica.
Is it as heavy as last year's one? I feel like last year's one, I'd never wear it because it just makes me sweat.
Yeah, I think it's about the same. I'd have to wear them side by side to know. But I have the one that Paul and Rob have on as well, the replica. So I think it's about the same.
Gutman making a really tough run at Bill Hamid, forces maybe a turnover. Yep, turnover. FC Cincinnati have the ball moving into the final third, but it gets caught on Frankie's boot, and they turn the ball over. Is he like 40? Pretty much.
Also, Higuain is a really creative player, but he's not quick. So with a 3 back, I would hope that Waston and Pedersen and Deplan will be able to marshal him a little bit. You don't want to give him space outside the box to get on the ball and look for a shot.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we got to touch the Austin Berry jersey right now. Give us a little luck, Austin. Come on, bud. Drink that beer, Coach.
I've now dipped into the Gravely Brewing Company Oompa Oktoberfest.
Where's Gravely at?
Louisville.
They good there, Paul? He doesn't know. He's got to put it in his mouth.
Yep. Hey, listen to the advice. I'm not a beer drinker, so I don't know.
Oh, shoot. You're a bourbon guy? What do you drink?
Yeah, if I'm going for drinks, I'm going for bourbon. This is obviously mixed, but you can never have enough Four Roses.
Yeah.
4 Roses. That's my go-to.
There you go. That's a good drink. Is that your kids playing like a flute or something there, Coach?
he left.
No, I did. I took him out for a second. I can play God on this show. Yeah, I can play God on this show. Oh, geez, that was funny. I heard the little that was funny. Coach, it's okay. We're here to have fun. That's all we're doing.
I've not had Gravely. The only thing I know about Louisville beer is Against the Grain, and that's really good stuff.
There's so much good beer in Cincinnati. I just wouldn't waste my time with Louisville. Sorry.
I can't stand Against the Grain's graphics. I don't know. I know that's a silly thing, but they're so weird.
I kind of like their can art.
To each his own, Rob.
Yep. True that.
I feel like if you're going for Louisville though, you should go for the bourbon. Like,
all right. Yeah, I do agree with you. All right, we are 77-minute mark. We've used what, 3 subs? I mean, really, what do you do now? I mean, if you score a goal, maybe you swap out Frankie for McCabe.
I wouldn't unless Frankie's tired.
But you got to match his minutes over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, could be true. And I like McCabe. McCabe's a decent player. He just hasn't gotten any minutes this year. So just not sure exactly where he is. I think you could see Haglund come in late in the game to try to hold on to a lead if FCC were to get one. I think you could see Vasquez come on to try to push for a lead, push Regaton out wide and do more of a 4-3 or a 4-3-3 sort of look.
Kubo with a long shot, harmlessly wide. 78-05.
It's good to see that Higuain hasn't gotten on the ball at all yet.
Mm-hmm. So far. Phew. I just wish I could see somebody play Locadia into space just a little bit more. From Pietro again, 8 shots from DC, 7 shots from Cincy. Cincy has more passes, more passing accuracy, and more possession. Cincy also has more shots on goal, 2-1.
Yeah, it's interesting, those stats. The other interesting thing to me is blocked shots. FCC having 3 blocked shots. It just kind of shows, again, there's just a lot of bodies in the middle there. And FC Cincinnati, I really think, is going to have to find a way to get in behind DC's wingbacks, stretch that back 3 out wide, covering that space, and then try to find space in the middle with either a cutback or a cross.
I will say this. I have been very impressed so far with how much of an impact our subs have done into this match with especially with Cruz and Regaton. Really has changed the whole tone of this match in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, at what point does Cruz earn himself a starting lineup? He's looked so good coming off the bench each and every time he's made an appearance.
I have no answer for you there, pal. I guess Coach Stom just must like him in one of those higher 2 positions. I don't know. I don't know. I would love if we could get one free kick chance at the rest of this last 10, 12 minutes. Just give us one more chance to put a ball on frame or let one of our guys get ahead on it. How hysterical is it that a non-alcoholic beer is the sponsor of the league?
Go ahead. I think it's perfect. I mean, it's sports, man. That's like, who's drinking water on the sideline when you have either a non-alcoholic or basically the same, the whatever Brian's drinking.
Hey, I was gonna make a joke about myself. Come on, man. 2.6. 260% more than Heineken 0.0.
So let's look at the bright side. With 10 minutes left to go in the match, like, not only has FC Cincinnati tightened up considerably defensively, when's the last time you had a heart and mouth moment where Teton had to bail the team out, but also they've been edging possession. It seems like they're growing a little bit more into the final third, though they haven't created anything really good. They've had a couple shots on goal. So I do think that this game, even if it ended right here, I think it shows improvement from what we saw on MLS's back, to me.
And I like seeing this too, and this is what Eric Turner said on here. And what about when Kamho gets here and makes it even more interesting in that midfield? I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, the midfield is packed with talent. I think that somebody's going to have to be moved. There's been a lot of speculation from Ken Hetker about the possibility of moving Amaya or Cruz, not because he doesn't like them or wants to move them, but just because they have good value. Well, I think we hold on to Amaya because I don't think we get much of anything right now, since he's a Generation Adidas player. But once he gets off that contract after next year, I think it's possible. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that side.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of money tied up on this bench. And fortunately, this season we're allowed 5 subs, so it's not the worst thing in the world to have a reasonable amount of depth. Not a huge fall off now. Is it top end? Not really, but it's still it's decent.
I think having a substitution plan that has you putting a guy like Medunjanin into the game late, into a tied or a game where you're losing when the defense is a bit tired, and letting him spray those long passes and try to release a guy like Regaton or Zhao into space. Just going into it, assuming that's what you're going to do, I think is a good call.
Got a little space there. Cruz is so good at reading a game in that midfield. All right, we got about probably 10 minutes to go. 83-minute mark. I don't know if we're gonna have much stoppage time like we did the first half. Barely anything.
Subs. That's
it. Good ball. Cruz launches Locadia, and he hits it off the post. Wide open shot, hits it off the post. Oh, he's going to want that one back, but great pass by Alan Cruz.
And let the Cincinnati fans and media begin with, is he a bust because he missed a chance?
Taylor Tallman.
I was just about to say that.
He's going to want that back. It's okay, guys. He's got to make that. He's a $10 million man. He's got to make that, but that sucks. That stinks.
Yeah, that was rough.
Holy shot. Oh my, no. Locadia beats the keeper, but not the woodwork. Ugh. Yeah, we're going to want that one back. That was the best chance of anybody all game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But hey, it was on our side. So progress.
And I think you can't, in my mind, you can't really fault a striker for hitting the post there.
That's a long shot.
You want him to bury it, but he missed the keeper, which is goal number 1. He put it not quite on frame, but is a very near miss. He didn't shank it, which is goal number 2. I think that now you're talking about inches. That hits an inch to the inside, and it's going in off the post.
But you tell your guy to aim for that post in that situation.
Yeah, basically.
I wouldn't be opposed to trading Amaya to Seattle for Kelvin Leardom. No way. I guess if you get an asset back versus money, but maybe. That was from Lettuce. Oh, Pedersen's way up the field.
That's odd.
You're looking up from our chat and then seeing our center back and almost in the opponent's final thirds a surprise at 85-0-0, coach. Tall Paul. Are we going to get one here?
I feel one brewing. I said 3-0 at the beginning of this, and there's still plenty of time, I think, for 3 goals here. But no, I think in reality, I really do think we have a chance. But I feel like it's gonna come as a surprise. It's not gonna be Locadia. It's gonna be someone else. But I feel something brewing here.
A water break with 5 minutes to go in the match. What the deuce?
You feel something brewing, Tall Paul. Are you sure that it's not that Jack and whatever you're drinking?
I was gonna say, there he goes. I felt something brewing. I'm just gonna have to hold it for a little bit. Oh, bad jokes from Brian Weigel tonight. Man, did Hamid just nick that? I feel like he might have just nicked that. And that thing was hit. Hit.
Maybe he did.
Wow. That thing was hit. It's okay, man. Wait, Cruz is hurt?
I was going to say, this is not an official water break. This is stopping and play for something.
I cannot hear the TV right now, so I apologize.
I think he did get.
He's back on.
And again, I mean, this team, we've been talking about the team having only Siem de Jong at the 10. That pass from Cruz, that was that little half playing on the half turn like that. That's a play that a 10 makes. I mean, Cruz is just so versatile. He just continues to impress me. And his passing, he's had 2 or 3 really good passes this game.
Yeah, I just don't know where he fit. Oh, geez. Pedersen is coming with some good tackles. Come on, Locadia, get the ball. 87-05.
And DC United just put a child on the pitch.
Yeah, I was about to say. I didn't. He looked young. 22.
17 or 17 years old. Is that numbers?
No, I was saying a number.
22?
Yeah, no, he looks like a high school
Oh,
player.
come on, that's a card. Thank you. Yep, that's a card on Edison Flores for tripping Joe Zhao.
Ben Olsen did say that he was going to make a concerted effort to play the kids a bit more in this early stretch of the season here.
It's all about improvement right now.
Yeah, Zhao just has those burners.
Yeah.
Like looking back on that since I'm behind you guys.
If you can put together a run with your last 12 matches after these 6, and you're still in a position, I think that's all right with me. I think we will have wanted 3 points in this match, but I would gladly take 1 at this moment.
Yeah.
I think my Growler Cup prediction's way off.
Who had FC Cincinnati sitting on 7 points through 3 matches with Stom in charge, or four official matches.
His fifth match total, 4th for points, but it's a corner.
That's
right
what
now.
I meant. Yeah,
88-34 and a corner to FC Cincinnati. Let's see if we can get a better service from Regatin. Oh no, just kidding. Who's coming over? Is it Gutman? Yep, Gutman's coming over with the left-footed in-swinger. This almost looks like a scouting report right here, switching out the kick. Nope. Oh, looked back post towards Acadia, but Hamid took it with ease. He's a big boy too, Hamid, man. He's a stout man.
I love the Adama Traore shout on Zhao. The more I watch him with that in mind, I think that's dead on.
Uh-oh.
A very, very poor man's Adama Traore.
This is a freak. I didn't know he was a Spaniard. I did not know that. He got called up to Spain, I think, or for I don't know. I thought he said he's getting called up for a game or something. About 15 seconds from Brian's check-ins. What that means.
I'm getting word that there's 3 minutes of added time.
Jeez Louise, who's your source? Wallner?
No.
Or am I just not looking on Slack?
No, I have a guy who I coached with briefly in college. He coached the men's side when I was coaching on the women's side that works with the referees down at Nippert.
Nice. All right, we got the ball. Let's go. Come on. Man, that's absolutely a foul. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Abu, is that Abu that just took out Cruz on the counter? Cruz has been the best player this second half.
Agreed.
I just love seeing him and Regatin playing together. They're touched together. They've been working pretty well, getting the ball back and forth. I mean, everything this half has gone through the middle with those two versus in the first half, everything wide with Gutman and Zhao. Good cross. Oh, Waston's header just outside the near post. It's okay. We're doing fine. I'm going to assume there's going to be a lot of 6s in Brad's player ratings piece. 6
Thank you.
Like neutral.
Thank you, Eric Turner. I was trying to keep that a secret, but Eric Turner just outed me.
Oh, Eric Turner's down there, huh? Is that what?
No.
Oh, got it.
Mormon is my source.
Oh, I see that.
There's no reason to keep it secret. I don't think.
I have no idea who that is. Good screen. Locadia almost got way from us. He screened out his player, got the ball to Regatin, driving down inside the box, trying to step over a man, cutting it back, and
nobody there.
No, it was just airmailed it. He just got under it versus hitting the top of it. He got under it and chipped it over everybody.
He knows.
About a minute to go.
He knows that if he shanks the goal, he won't get flack from the media. Whereas if he nearly misses, it's a chance he should have made. So
I can't tell if he was trying to go top shelf or if he literally just scuffed it way out of the realm of the universe. All right. We were the better team the second half by a long shot. Agree, disagree?
Oh, agree.
Totally
I agree
yeah.
completely. I think down the stretch, I think this is the team we're waiting to see. I think as soon as Stom made those changes, it looked like it signaled
Game over?
to his team that he wanted to go for it a bit more. And I think FCC has looked good playing on the front foot.
All
yeah,
right.
that's it.
Game
Gotta
over.
draw.
I'll take it. I will absolutely take it.
Yeah. Yeah, you wanted 3, but not upset with 1.
Mm-hmm.
I predicted a draw on Talking Tactics and in the Growler Cup because that exact reason. Both of these teams have had trouble scoring from open play, creating chances. Both teams have been very good defensively. We knew Stom was going to come out and really try to keep things tight defensively to begin with. So I think a draw is a fair result here. I think there's encouraging signs with how FC Cincinnati looks going forward down the stretch. So I think it's good things.
Absolutely take a point. Absolutely. I think we'll look back if we were like a championship contending side. I think you'd be very disappointed in a result like this, but as a side that just needs every little piece of confidence to keep the ball going forward, I think that's a good result.
Yeah.
And that's our third shutout in 5 games, 3rd clean sheet.
I think so. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, going back to Columbus.
Because Columbus, we got beat. We gave up a goal versus Portland, and then the other 2 were shutouts. So
Yeah, because if you told me 3 shutouts in 5 games, I'd take that every day of the week.
Yeah. Pietro, I agree. Really good second half. Cincy dominated the stats. Even the shots, 10-8 for Cincy. Good match, but there is a big room for evolution. 100% agree with that. And Pietro, thank you so much for tuning in from Brazil. We love having you involved this evening. Great time, and please stay tuned and send us a note. We'll try to send you some FC Cincinnati gear if you want. Just slide into our Twitter DMs or whatever. Hook you up, man. Let's begin to wrap the show up here, guys. I think we've covered a lot of different topics tonight, so let's kind of just give our final thoughts on the match so far and what you hope to see next Tuesday in Chicago. We're going to start with Rob Pierce. Rob, what'd you make and what do you hope to keep seeing?
What I made is the momentum, right? They built a lot of momentum in the MLS is back tournament. You got that big loss with Columbus out of the way. And then from there, the results started coming in. You have a win against the Red Bulls. You have a win against Atlanta. And you take Portland to penalty kicks. And so it's good to see them take that and, it's 0-0, right? But you still get a point out of it. So you're still kind of building.
Yeah. As an aside right now, Coach Stom's on TV, and that guy must require a XXX size mask because those ears are massive. All right. Going to Tall Paul. What's your final thoughts, man?
Yeah. I mean, just keeping the momentum, and I'm so glad we have a game plan. It doesn't seem like we come out here and we're just throwing things against the wall to see if they stick. It seems like we have an idea every single match of what we want to do. And granted, that changes from match to match, but that's how you would want it, right? So, like Rob said, just keep the momentum up, keep it building, and like we said, we would love to see success this year. But as long as we're building to that 2021 start at the West End Stadium, I think we'll be good.
Hagelin is clapping the Bailey off as he heads into the locker room. So love seeing that there. My final thought of the night is I think we have several different ways to play, and that makes me feel confident that there's tools in the arsenal to attack different matches. And, hopefully we won't be found out right away. We can adapt and progress. So glad to see that and glad to see a guy who I have a lot of confidence in at the helm of our club right now. Coach, what do you think?
Yeah. So my final thoughts, I would say the Listerman Kolsch was rough. don't go there. The Oompa Oktoberfest, very good though. It's good beer. Jerseys, ugly as advertised. No, I'm kidding. But in reality, this team needs to not start so slow. They looked so bad the first 15 minutes. DC could have made them pay. Stom needs to get that cleared up. But we saw this team grow into the match. If they can start to put 90 minutes together like the last 15, 20 minutes of that match, they're going to win a lot more games this year.
Mm-hmm. Just seeing final replays in the matches, they sign off here. That ball by Locadia took a little skip. Just skipped a little bit outside. I think he would like to have controlled that better on that shot, but still, all right there for FC Cincinnati. All right, guys. I feel pretty good after this match. We got a quick turnaround. We should have a show for Cincinnati Soccer Talk on Monday that's going to cover the additions of Camuhelo Mococho and Alvaro Barreal. So please stay tuned to those. Coach, you have anything planned yet?
I'll talk over this match. I'm going to rewatch it 2 or 3 times, and I'll tell you exactly what I saw. Hopefully, tell you what I expect from the Chicago match, and maybe also give my scouting reports officially on those 2 new signings.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in. For Paul, Rob, Coach, this is Brian Weigel signing off. And guys, I hope you guys will join us back Monday night, 9 o'clock. Check out all your podcast platforms as well, as there will be a lot coming down there. So y'all have a good night and be better to each other. See you later.